Hello, my friends. I promised that I would do updates. Here's another one after 2 weeks. We have been in Berlin now for, what is it, a week. We started a little bit late uh, because we had to wait for G2 to give us the keys to the office. That's cool. We have started scrims here. We're very happy with the office. We're in the G2 office. So we're not in the same building as G2 because they have a G2 like gaming office, and this is like their HQ where they conduct, the business. So we're very happy to be partnered here because we are staying at a hotel, which is super nice. I'm eating like hotel breakfast in the morning, which is really OP. Like in Munich, I was already there, right? In Munich when we boot camps, already living in a hotel for like 3 weeks. You get so used to the continental breakfast. And when I got back home, eating breakfast was just a prank, like you have to cook eggs yourself, because it's spoiled a little bit, and it's good to be back in the moment of being spoiled. You have like this juicer, carrots, ginger, apples, boom, freshly squeezed, just juice in the morning, eggs, smoked salmon, a little bit of, Frischkäse. I don't know how to say that anymore. I'm completely German now. I don't know how to say this anymore in English. So the routine is good. Scrims are going well. It's like we have great days and then we have bad days. It's like it seems to be no in between with us. But the most important thing for me is that the substance in terms of like how to structure out the early games, the substance to how to structure out the mid games and the late game too is clearly there. And I can definitely notice now that solo queue is out, that the individual form is really, really getting there. I think that this is a group that really enjoys the grind and needs the grind. So I do think now that everyone's like really spamming solo queue because there was this frustrating element of course, solo queue being so different from the scrim game that we're playing. So that was something that was a little bit trickier to kind of figure out. But now that solo queue is in full force and you kind of practice the same game, obviously everyone's dealing with this challenge in some shape or form. But I do think with this squad in particular, because everyone's a grinder, I do think it's very beneficial to us. Another detail why like solo queue is so important is just that the data, it's like the data of solo queue is much more important to us than other teams, because I do think that our approach in terms of what we draft and what we play is rather unique. And the uniqueness has a way bigger sample size in, of course, solo queue, because when we try something that we want to play, the sifting through the data and knowing how to take the right conclusions of scrims and knowing where to invest time is like the biggest part of the challenge when you don't have any pro play games. It's like LEC is starting now on Wednesday. You basically have your scrim data, and then you have to make like gut calls. Like, do we invest more time into figuring this out? Is this good in the first place? And this is something that is a challenge every damn year. But I do think this group is very creative and attentive and also respects data in the best way possible. It's like now the ideas are flowing, and it's much easier to do things with conviction. Because on top of the fact that you want to, of course, not waste your time, is that I think in the end, there's this Mowgli interview that I did at Worlds, right? It's like, he said, when I asked him, how do you win the World Championship? Obviously, we're in LEC. He said, you practice what you think is good, and then you pray. Because it's like at some point, you can't pivot anymore, and you need to kind of have, experience and let's say, the volume on the champions that you want to play on in the end of the stage. Because maybe you come into the match days and suddenly you think, oh, all these other champions that we didn't play are the best champs to play, but what does it matter if you're not going to be able to execute on them? So it's a question of finding conviction very early on. And I do feel now, as the boys are playing solo queue, it does feel a lot easier with the data available. So that's nice. We're going to the gym. We paid 200 euro for this gym membership because the hotel gym is kind of, all the dumbbells are like stolen and shit. Business as usual in every hotel gym. Like, I think they just put like some cardio machines in a room, and then they advertise that they have a gym. Like this, I think it's just false advertisement. It's like one of those things where it's like I wouldn't be surprised. It's like, oh, to go from 2 stars to 3 stars, you need to say that you have a gym and offer amenities. some shit like that. It's like a loophole. It's like, it's like you're doing, you have a Sims character, and then you give him the bare minimum to survive. Like one of those mini fridges and a bed made out of cardboard. This is the type of gym that the hotel is. So we're paying €200 because just convenience. Obviously, our days are very long. It's like we are in the office 9 to 10. Everyone does the warm up. We have a meeting. We have the scrims. We have a meeting, dinner, and then everyone's spamming solo queue, doing the streams and so forth. So it's like 12 to 14-hour days. So any time that we can win, obviously, is massive. And this gym that costs €200 a month is right next to where we're staying, which is super important. It's just that time efficiency is crucial. And we going to the gym with Velia, bro. I knew, the guy is. Look at him. He has Death Star delts. He's jacked. He knows all the rules. He knows like range of motion. He knows all that business. He's very supportive. He's giving like crowning tips and shit. It's cool to see. It's fun to see like all the guys in their element. Something that we're doing now too in the office. We're just playing chess. It's been fun. Everyone has some kind of like history with chess. It's like, oh, I played in school and so forth. In the beginning, I thought that I would just smoke everybody. Like I beat everybody, and then suddenly, out of all people, who beat me? Fucking Velia. Velia beat me. Velia beat me in the chess game. Yeah. The Death Star delts beat me in the chess game. Everyone else, I was farming, and then Velia beating me, it kind of ignites the fire. So I need to beat him the next time I play. Played against Sarah, played against Bausi, beat them easy. I'm waiting for Reckless to also join the fray because obviously he, played chess with the GOAT himself. It's like maybe Reckless is the final boss. We'll see. Also, it's fun to see, we were at the studio doing a media day. Every time I get baited to come to the media day, they say, oh, the coaches are necessary there. I go there, I take one picture, and then I'm stunlocked for 8 hours. But, it's all good because you get to bond with the players and you get to talk about the game and so forth. But at least at the end of the day, we got to do a playtest on stage, which is super cool. There was something very nice about seeing, like, Nemesis, Reckless, and of course, Crowny back like on the LEC stage. There was something very beautiful about that. It's like obviously on my side, I'm in the team, so from that side is going to fun regardless. But also as just a fan of European League, I do think that these guys are like extremely important, and to see them back in their chair on that stage was was very, very nice as a fan of the league. It's also one of those things. It's like it's always talking about how different it's going to be when the guys are only scrimming offline and they're preparing for the LEC, they're playing against LEC teams. How the level will increase and the skill sets that they have and the experience will definitely shine through. And I think that's very, very visible now as the scrims are going. I feel like they are in better form that I've seen them in over the year, and naturally so, right? It's like the practice is better, it's more intense, but at the same time, I say all of this, the competition is also a lot tougher. I do think that the teams this year are quite well rounded, especially around the top. I feel like that there is upside to like the top 6, top 7 teams, and they're very, very formidable. And I think even in terms of like Team Heretics and Navi, let's say the rebuilders, the guys, not the rebuilders, but rather the guys who have trying to find their generational player, even though those teams have like really, really good setups. So I do feel like LEC is very competitive. There's not a single game that I'm going to be looking at. It's like, oh, this should be an easy one. I feel like there is opportunity for everyone in a sense, especially, new season, new patch. How everyone lands in terms of their form is super important, and we do play BO1 super weak, so whoever hits the ground running, is going to definitely have an advantage. But super exciting. Trying to think what else to add in terms of the update. I do think that the relief of solo queue data and playing solo queue was really, really a big one. I was really waiting for that one, because I do think after like the December break that the form wasn't super great, but it was definitely, you know, we in the back of my mind was like, Solo just needs to start, and then I'm gonna have guys that are easily getting minimum like 6, 7, 8 solo queue games a day in. So I think that's a really big deal. Yeah, and I can notice the difference. Other than that, Fnatic, KCB is going to be our opening weekend. Very tough matchups. I expect KC to be super good. Obviously, on the KC teams, these are two teams that we didn't manage to practice against at all. And we did practice once against Fnatic, but it was a long time ago. I do think that in terms of analyzing the player profiles, you can kind of set expectations on how these teams are going to be approaching things. So there's a lot of historical data to go off of, and I do think that other teams can leverage that against us too. And we know what people should know, and that's something that obviously we're already preparing against. You know, the usual classic triple ban against Baos, and, you know, banning the usual Nemesis champions, removing his Syndra and so forth. These are all things that we are very ready for, and it feels good to be outlining, you know, what our strengths are, and really leaning into it. So the biggest part of the conversion in the next scrims to come, because today, of course, is our off day. We have 5 more scrim days. The biggest, you know, snap that we really need to cover is the conviction of what we're going to be playing, and really making sure that we get the volume on those compositions, because in the end, you know, we're playing BO1s. It's like if we've done the job perfectly, we basically play like 11 games of the same composition with some variations where, of course, the enemy would shift their bans and so forth, because obviously if they see us, oh, they played this champion 4 games in a row, they're going to start targeting that to peel the layers of the onion. But that's basically the goal now. That's the goal. Other than that, super happy. I feel like the routine is good. As I mentioned before, we do gym. I feel like everyone is energetic. It's cold as balls, and we did deal with some office illness, but I feel like that's like a part of you know, the equation during winter. It's cold, people can get sick, dryness in the air. It's perfectly normal. We did everything we could to prepare for it. You know, we did the vitamin stacks, and, you know, made sure that we, you know, took care of ourselves as much as you can. But in the end, you know, it's some things are just meant to happen. But I do think that everyone's slowly getting healthier and healthier. So that's nice. That's nice. Did have some PC issues too. That was kind of strange. Also something that always happens in any team. We got these monster PCs, like crazy strong PCs with like 6,000, you know, 6,000. I'm trying to think what's the metric for RAM. 6,000 RAM. Is it the refresh rate? Is the refresh rate on RAM? I don't know what the metric is, but 6,000. And we have GTX 5080s, like RTX 5080s. So our computers are beasts, but maybe they are two beasts. It's kind of like a baby driving a Ferrari. You know, League of Legends being the baby here in terms of, in terms of let's say technological complications, and we have maybe too powerful computers for it. But Nemesis started like formatting all the computers, and he was doing like some crazy hack. I don't know what the hell. Nemesis was doing some crazy hack with the USB stick, and I was like, yeah, I can format the PCs too. I can help you. He's like, no, Yamato, it's very specific. You wouldn't get it. I'm like, okay, sorry, Nemesis. So watching what he's doing, and then he's like, he's putting in the USB, and then as it's there's a certain step where he pulls out the USB, and then he needs to pull out the Ethernet, then he needs to restart. I don't know, some crazy combination I had never seen there before. And I was like, Nemesis, can you teach me what you're doing so I can also format? It's like, no, it's too complicated. I was like, all right, you keep your secrets then, Nemesis. Keep your secrets. Nevertheless, I'll probably give you guys another update after the first matches. Let me know if you have like any questions, and I'll try to answer them to my best, to my best ability. Obviously, there's certain information that we need to hide and care for, but I feel good. The pressure is rising, but for me, that's what I'm addicted to, and It's just a question of making sure that the players can manage that, and make sure that we can manage to stay cohesive, and to make sure that our breathing also promotes cohesion, because all positive state of minds have an even heart rate, even breathing. So that's what we're aiming for. I don't know why I went into neuroscience, but there it is. And if you want tips on this current season, just look and play champions that want to buy Dusk and Dawn, because that item is crazy. There's never been an item in the game ever before that gives you attack speed, ability haste, health, and AP. This is like the dream of all the AP bruisers, which was always a role that kind of suffered in League of Legends. So there you go. Secret tip at the end if you made it this far. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.